Up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Oh, look at me. I'm retarded. I'm a globe.
I'm scared, Dad.
Do you trust me, son?
Yes.
Come on, son. Rule number 1, never trust anybody.
All right, never trust anybody. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind, coming to you 250 miles above your imagination from the International Fake Station. I'm up here with my co-host and good friend, Something Wong, who will make sure that we fly straight and level over this level topographical plane that we call home, that is unfortunately run, due to our own negligence, of course, by psychopathic, greedy, perverted, crazy people. I guess that's the best way I can put it. Just distraction after distraction after distraction after distraction. We've got fake assassination attempts and shit. And oh my God, using the oldest trick in the book to make people feel like they're really onto some shit with this too. It just blows my mind. Look how smart you are. You're figuring this out, that there's CIA connections and right off the bat, they're right. You know, everybody's, look, this guy's got all these CIA connections. And this kid was in a BlackRock video for a second and a half. And I happen to remember that. Let me see if I can find that obscure BlackRock commercial that nobody else has ever fucking seen. And we'll put that. I mean, wow. Just like they did with the planets. Oh, good for you, Billy. You know all your planets in order. So now you're smart, you know. And oh, look at you. You figured out the stuff about the date state and the. Give me a goddamn break, man. Come on, y'all. Wow, got a lot of good people in here already. I'm showing 59 over here on the YouTube side. What do we got over here? 7 on the Rumble side. The link should be pinned up in the chat if anybody wants to come up. We're going to kind of just go along with all the crazy stuff that's going on. I saw that the Final Experiment was on live earlier, and they had a flat earther on there that I'd never heard of. I'm going to check out his channel and see what that's about, but I was kind of, I don't know. Anyway, who all we got in here? I got JP's joined us here. Brad and Tasha, Memorial Gardens. Got Jono Edwards, Kimosabe. You know, somebody told me that means fool in Spanish or some shit. I don't know. Somebody told me that. I don't remember. So we got Joyce B. Let's see, Austin Murphy. Hey, what's going on? Yes, Austin, I got your message the other day. I've yet to respond to it. And people have stated that, yes, Stavely, his last name may actually indeed be a victim to the Mandela effect as well, because I noticed that immediately too. And I was like, wait a minute, hold on. And he's like, no, it's always been that way. And I don't know. He's right from where the heart of a lot of this stuff is from. You know, Ed McMahon, even the seal of their town now has a cornucopia. Really some strange shit. If you don't know who Brian Stavely is, go over to his channel, subscribe to him. He's taking a little break from the net. He's doing some stuff to further his position in life, which is very admirable. I call him a quitter, but I'm always fucking with him. So yeah, he's gonna kind of back away for a little bit. There's enough material there though on his channel to keep somebody busy for maybe a couple of years. Really. So I do encourage you to look over at it. I see Jehovah's lovely daughter Barbara is here. Anson Howard from way across the pond is here. Stupid is here. Rethink Inc. Let's see who else we got here. Memorial Gardens. Lisa Marie Tattersall. My wife and I have been over and visited her the other day. My wife is using a tincture for a rash that she had accumulated somehow. She thought it was some kind of bugs are biting her or something, but there's no indication of such a thing. And I'm not getting bit up, so I don't know. But it seems to be working and helping. Good to see you, Lisa. The Akinator's here with us. Mental Pancakes, ZXL Master. Yeah, you caught alive. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh my God, lots of lovely people. Post anything here with us as well. Angela Baby Carson, Half Warrior. What's the other half? Lover, fighter. Let's see. Mojo, there's my man Mojo. I was thinking about you today. That windmill's still cranking along. It just took a little bit of gumption to go ahead and fix that damn thing. Let's see who else. I think I pretty much got everybody so far. If somebody slips in on me or I missed you, sorry. Probably see you somewhere. There's Saddle Bum. Hey, on Dr. Ryan. We got a lot of good people. He and Maurice List. They live, we sleep. That's absolutely right. Holy crap. And what do I mean? I mean, I had just seen this thing a little bit ago, and I'm like, oh my God. So there's this guy, he's a World Economic Forum bioethicist, and he wants to genetically modify humans, okay, so that they become allergic to meat. What in the fuck is wrong with these people, man? I don't get it. I don't get it. These people are fucking, I'm sorry. I'm going to try to lay off that a little bit, the F word. But, you know, I mean, wow. They're just flabbergasting. Yes, that's the F word I was looking for right there. Is Brad and Tasha. What's up? All right, check this out. I can't believe these people, man.
So I'll give two examples. So one is that people eat too much meat, right? And if they were to cut down on their consumption of meat, then they would it would actually really help the planet. But people are not willing to give up meat. Yeah, you know, some people will be willing to, but other people, they may be willing to, but they have a weakness of will. They say, wow, this steak is just too juicy. I can't do it. I'm one of those, by the way. So, you know, but so here's the thought, right? So it turns out that we know a lot about, we have these intolerance to, for example, I have milk intolerance. And some people are intolerant to crayfish. So possibly we can use human engineering to make it the case that we're intolerant to certain kinds of meat, to certain kinds of bovine proteins. And there's actually analogs of this in life. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you will become allergic to meat. I can sort of describe the mechanism. So,
well, that right there tells me that they've already got the damn thing.
That's something that we can do through human engineering. We can kind of possibly address really big world problems through human engineering. Another.
Yeah, they can just engineer people to fit their stupid, because of science, right? And we always know that science is always, right on the cutting edge of shit. Oh my
I'll
God.
give 2 examples.
These people are for real, man. This is and this is what they think, and the stuff that they try to push onto you, it's unreal. And I mean, and especially this time of the year. Oh my God. This time when always with the election time, you just get the crazies, the total crazies come out. What is this guy's name? I'm trying to remember. Let me see if it's in the description up here. So it's on Stu Peters. And Stu Peters says, no, God did not create gay people. He blew up whole cities over that. And this, oh my God, I'm trying to remember this guy's name. He was really quite vocal, especially when it came to things about Israel. Oh God, his name's right on the tip of my tongue. Most of you will recognize him. I apologize. Short-term memory loss.
If you believe in God, if you have any conception of the Bible and maybe man and woman and the actual sanctity of that, I'm sorry. I don't know exactly if God made any gay folk or not. But the bottom line is this: we will become extinct real fast if we take that route, because there ain't no procreation through anal sex.
There's not?
Well, then on top of that, you talk about
whoa. Ben Shapiro said.
Well, if you talk about social construction, now more than ever before, all these kids are identifying as trans.
Literally.
Of course, that's socially constructed.
100%.
Well, I mean,
Now, where did that come from, right? Where did that come from? How come all of a sudden I didn't have a bunch of people in my school and shit identifying as trans? You would have got laughed at hard, man. Nobody was doing that. How come all of a sudden now we have this? Is this more bioengineering? Think about it, man.
they're also putting shit in the food and the water. So there's that.
In the air.
Yeah, the air is the big one.
Estrogen is being delivered through various means, which is lowering the testosterone level, which might explain why men seemingly don't have any balls anymore. Literally. And I'm a vegetarian, I'm a so-called soy boy. I ain't lacking in my testosterone. I can promise you that. I'm doing well.
For sure. Mostly vegan. I get it, bro.
How big of a threat is this? I mean, you got the State Department, the cabinet, the administration, unelected bureaucrats, the war machine. This occupation is real.
100%, yeah. And it has been for longer than people would like to acknowledge.
And what is with this? Why are they always wanting to demasculate? Think about that. Think about that. Weed makes you gay. Well, I've been smoking weed since I was 12 years old, and I can guarantee you there is nothing attractive to me about a man's hairy ass, okay? Not a bit. I don't find anything arousing about another man at all. So whatever, bro. I think glyphosates do. I think that our society's been introduced to a heavy amount of these chemicals, especially up through the 70s into the green revolution, the industrial farming revolution, industrial agriculture. That's where we started to see after that.
If you believe in
explosion in not only the use of such chemicals, but also an explosion, and I do mean an explosion. I mean, I would have no. What the fuck is he grinning at? Look at him back here grinning like he's me trans. I trans. You better keep to yourself back there. Something wrong. Okay, listen. Yeah, no doubt. Same here. Half warrior. Yeah, we did. Yeah. And it was just like talking shit. Now they're like, yeah, so what of it? And it's like, oh wow, come on, y'all. I don't know, man. Things don't seem to be progressing in a positive way. I'll just say that. I mean, everybody's always going, we got to change everything. We're going to change. And these politicians run out, I'm going to change this and I'm going to change that and everything. And it seems to me that just cumulatively over the years, what I've seen is they've changed it from crappy into shit. You know, I mean, we got to stop letting them do anything, I think. I mean, that's just my standpoint on it. Space news. I saw where, let me go over here because I reposted this. Where? Here it is. The 47-year-old Voyager 1 spacecraft just fired up its thrusters that it hasn't used in decades. I don't know how they know that or anything else. This was, I don't know if this will open up on here. It might. Hold on a second. Oh, it only brings up the shit. Okay, so I'll have to bring it up on space.com. What's up, Matt? Really? You're muted, you know. We can't hear you. Unmute yourself, Matt. All right, so man, I just agree. Okay. I'll take all the cookies. I like cookies. Let me see. Space exploration. There should be SpaceX, FAA, the Polaris program. They're really going on this. Maybe if I go into their little search engine, they'll bring me something. Do they have a little search on here? They do. Voyager. There we go. Latest thing. There's Matt again. I have Matt on here twice. I'm going to take the other Matt off. Okay, now I don't have to.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. What's up?
Oh, okay. Hey, what's up, bro? Yeah, I was looking up the tick stuff about the Lyme disease, and what they claim is that they thought it would be a viable source of infection, but because it only stays in rural areas, that it was not a viable source to distribute a disease. Now that tells you if they were trying it in the first place.
Right. And what kind of a delivery method was this?
Apparently they infected the ticks, and they expected the ticks to,
Oh,
breed with other
yeah.
ticks,
Well,
and
yeah,
then it spread throughout.
throughout the biome. Yeah, that's where Lyme disease came from.
Yeah.
Where it's at Plum Island Research Facility.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was just looking that stuff up.
Yeah.
Because I remember reading about that a couple years ago, and I was like, holy crap.
From what I understand, Lyme is a weaponized form of syphilis. And the first case of it was in Lyme, Pennsylvania, which is right across the river from Plum Island, that has a tick-borne disease research wing. Isn't that interesting? And the deer are known to swim back and forth between the island and the mainland all the time. So
I think that's where that new thing with the deer walking in circles comes from. They say they have this brain parasite, but I really think it's from the ticks that they released and didn't expect this to happen.
Yeah, listen, this is the thing I always I look at, man. When you start playing around with shit that ain't for you to be playing with, you're playing with you're stuff that's only for God. You're not supposed to be messing with that shit, right? And I think that's kind of representative of like the fruit of the tree of knowledge. You're trying to be as God, and of course, what's going to befall you is disaster, which it always does. I mean,
and that's what I think it is. I think when you try to manipulate nature, it comes back to haunt you, because like you thought you were going to, take out, like say half of humanity.
It's Frankenstein's monster. Frankenstein's creation came back and destroyed him.
Yeah.
And that's a lesson right there. That's the metaphor. When you try to play God, your creation will destroy you.
I differ on some of that because grafting, when we do different things with plants, we can graft them and we can make different things. So that doesn't always come back to bite us or haunt us or whatever.
Well, that's within our purview to do. That's to go in and rearrange the code of what makes something be something. That's a little bit different story. I mean, taking two similar plants and being able to graft them together and them being compatible, that's that's cool. That's fine. But when you start going down on the genetic level, to where we're going to make a banana that's actually an apple, but it's a banana, and you peel it like, and all that, and you're like, no, you're not. Don't do that. That's not meant to be. Stop. That's not natural. Stop.
And what do those fruits? What do they not produce?
Seeds.
Exactly.
Seeds. No seeds. Because it is kind of, in a way, even though it's a hybrid, it's an abomination to creation.
It's an abomination. Yep.
Yeah, so it has no method of reproduction. I don't know. That's my opinion on it. Did you see where? Yeah, I found it on space.com that NASA Voyager 1 probe swaps thrusters in tricky fix as it flies through interstellar space. Now, unless you're changing direction, which I don't know where they would change direction to or how they would know where they change direction to, why would that thing have a need to have any thrusters on it?
I thought Voyager was just shot out to go in one direction and to collect everything in one direction. And
Yeah, 47. I was about 12 when they sent it out there. And in fact, did you ever see the first Star Trek movie?
Oh, I love Voyager.
Right,
Yeah,
that was Voyager. Yeah.
Yep.
It was Voyager, and it had I don't know, hooked up with some other technological machine and became this entity.
Well, I think they claim. I think I got to go back and watch the movie, but I think they even claimed like the machine itself evolved.
Yeah. Yep. It says here, let me bring this up on screen. There we go. So it says, at 47 years old, the mission keeps flying with a little help from its friends. And well, there's a picture of it. Kind of looks like a portable wok, doesn't it? Like one of them things you use to boil water, solar water boiler or some shit.
You better stop mocking technology.
My grandparents used to have one of those on the top of their camper.
Okay, so it says it did the distant and cold Voyager 1 spacecraft did a clever thruster trick to help it phone home. So they're still talking this thing. It's been going for 47 years out into space. It went past Pluto. It's way out there. And they're still talking to it. How? Where is it getting any power from? Where is it getting any power? Don't tell me battery because it's too cold for a battery. And don't tell me solar either because there's no sun to pick up any solar power from way out there. So that's a problem. It says the most human distant object that is now flying through interstellar space had thruster issues, making it difficult for the spacecraft to stay pointed at Earth when calling home. Pointed at Earth. Why would it not be pointed in the same fucking direction it's always been pointed? What? Unless Voyager 1 could make a switch to a different thruster set, the 47-year-old spacecraft would sail on alone without help from Earth, making matters worse. Voyager 1 is so old that sudden changes could damage the spacecraft. Why? Why would a sudden change damage it? It's weightless. There's no gravity, right? So it wouldn't have any weight.
No forces acting upon it. No.
Right. Says that all the decisions we see, this is for childlike minds that don't think, And this is more of this final offensive. Don't forget there's space, and we've had stuff out there for 50 years now, and blah, 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 and we're still talking to it. Bullshit. Get out of here. Says here, all the decisions we will have to make going forward are going to require a lot more analysis and caution than they once did. Suzanne Dodd, Voyager's project manager at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory that manages the mission, said in a statement on Tuesday, September the 10th. Is that when? That was a week ago. Wow. And that just came up in my breaking news app. Okay. Wow. 7 days old. That's not bad. Not bad. Come up. Breaking news. Lincoln delivers address at Gettysburg. Oh, cool. Hey. Science Voyager 1 is critical to space science as it tells us more about interstellar space, meaning the region of the cosmos outside the reach of the sun's gravity or particles. Well, there you go. So where's it getting its power to do anything? Send a signal back to Earth. How is it getting that power? Where? From what? And you can't, once again, can't tell me a battery because it would be too cold for a battery to operate. But the spacecraft, what is it?
Radio waves.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just
Okay, I'm going to tell you this. It's the moon bounce.
It is. It is the moon bounce. Now, up until now, I thought the moon bounce was a carnival ride, but apparently it's not. We have this being able to do something. But the spacecraft's aging nuclear power source, a nuclear power source, is much diminished and doesn't have much power to play with. So engineers at JPL embarked on a rescue plan to help the spacecraft's pointing capabilities without risking its remaining functional science instruments. Now, how long does it take to get a signal to this thing to make it do something?
Hey, when you read that, does it make your head hurt?
Yes. 100.
I just wonder, like, you know, they tell us like a signal takes like 7 minutes to get from like the moon to Earth or whatever.
Well, it would take approximately 8.5 minutes to get to the sun from Earth. And so, you know, how many minutes does it take for their signal to get? This thing's well beyond Pluto. It's out of the sun's gravitational field and everything. It's just out there going. Nothing, just having it.
Do you think it's made it past the Oort cloud?
I don't know. How far away is the Oort cloud? I think this is all just, yeah, sure. Why not? Why not? And we could see the zodiacal lights. I mean, it's Narnia, man. They can say whatever the fuck they want to. They can say whatever they want.
The Oort cloud, because it's beyond your imagination.
Yes. Look at there. Oh my God. It's spectacular. Billions and billions of miles and tiny little particles. Voyager 1 and its twin Voyager 2 launched on their initial missions in 1977 to study the distant solar system. They collectively flew by 4 largest outer solar system planets by 1989 and continue with tweaks for their age to send science. They're sending science from afar, even after both exited the solar system in the early 2010s. You mean it's sending data? It's not sending science. How do you send science? The hell is that? See, that right there just bolsters it to these childlike minds. Oh, science, red tubes and lights, buttons. Science.
Electricity,
Hey,
gravity.
it's all science. I mean, even data is science. I mean, everything in some way, I think, is
Well, it
scientific
can be
science.
it can be a part of your scientific method, but science, it isn't really a thing. It's a process.
The way things work is actually physics. Science is the process of how you figure out things work. physics is the way things work. Neither
Well, what are you
one of
going to do
those
today?
goes
Well,
along with.
I was thinking about having
So
some science.
it's
Yeah,
sending
no, we can
physics.
try it.
So that thing's sending physics.
No,
It's
what I'm saying is it's
data.
sending data, and data
Data.
isn't science nor physics, but data claims to be the gathering of the physical workings of our reality.
Well, I think that you had it right in that it's physics. So it's really sending physics. It's not sending data. It takes that physics. So it's really, in some way, I think you may be correct. It's sending physics.
Yeah, like it's the
It's in the
physical
form of
science.
data.
Yeah,
Well, look
the
at here.
data
It's
itself.
obviously got enough power to send photographs through space. This is a picture of Uranus. Not mine, yours.
Yours.
It's obtained by
That actually
Voyager
just
2
looks like a
spacecraft.
picture I took of the sun a couple of days ago.
Look at that. Just a round picture of the sky would make that right there. Oh, look what we have. As with
Oh my
humans,
goodness.
aging brought.
I almost
What
was
is it?
going to say that's white privilege, that's Uranus.
It is. It's not my anus. Where's the pucker? Where's the star? Show the starfish. That'd be funny if it looked like a butthole. Then you'd know they were trolling us hard. As with humans, aging brought changes to the Voyager systems. The fuel tube for their thrusters have been prone to clogging for more than 20 years. That happens as a rubber diaphragm in each spacecraft fuel tank degrades, creating a silicon dioxide byproduct that clogs the line.
Sounds like
Luckily,
constipation.
it is. They need to send up some X-Lax, some space X-Lax. There you go.
My
SpaceX.
sphincter's clogged.
They need to send it through Uranus. Luckily, each Voyager has 3 thruster branches available for use. Oh, thrusters. 2 attitude branches originally designed for orientation and 1 trajectory correction branch made for pathway changes in space. To be clear, engineers have been overcoming the unexpected for decades by creatively repurposing parts of the Voyager. This new thruster situation, however, brought additional challenges. See, and there's a little termination shock, Voyager. Oh, is it the heliopause, the heliosphere?
I mean, thrusters and pathway changes. Is that what? Wait, hang on. So
Hey, I think that should be a hashtag.
Hashtag thrusters and pathway changes.
So it must be some bending of space-time. This really, this is basically horse shit. Okay. I'm just going to put it right there.
How do you repurpose, let's say, how do you repurpose an antenna and make it a thruster?
The whole thing that came to my mind was like, one of those video games where, oh, look, I got a thruster upgrade. And it's like they're just making shit up as they go along. People are so brain dead that they just go with it. I mean, oh my God, I found this. Let me pull this back up real quick. Let me take that off of there. This is crazy. This is so nuts. Oh Christ, where is it? Okay, yeah. Look here. So here's Trump on his plane. Dude, why is your ear not shot off? What the hell? Right? And they don't care. Okay, so then that starts to wear down. And then what do they got? Now we got this other supposed assassination attempt. What?
I don't know if you saw this, but the latest assassination attempt was not in the last assassination attempt.
There
I
was
think
no-
you should segue better.
They
than-
said it was the FBI concluded it was not an assassination attempt. They were not aiming towards Donald Trump or any of the Secret Service members. They were firing in a different direction. So this is not an assassination attempt.
What was he shooting at?
I don't know.
Hmm.
They didn't say. They just said he wasn't shooting
But,
towards Trump
but,
or
but
the Secret
what about
Service.
all his
But-
CIA ties? All of his ties to CIA.
I know. But I'm telling you, that's what the FBI came out and said today.
Sure, this is to make it look suspicious. Okay, I'm telling you right now, this is too easy.
Yeah, I know it's stupid.
It's too easy, and it's like, look how smart you are for figuring this out, all these clues and everything. And it's like, yeah, here's the biggest thing I figured out: none of this shit's real. Okay, this is all. I can't wait till next month. They always have what they call an October surprise, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder what they've got in store for that. I mean, it's been very entertaining so far.
Our big October surprise is probably going to be Kamala gets elected president, or at least that's what the media is going to say.
Well, yeah. And now here's another thing they're making really totally obvious. All right. What are we being distracted from? What's the big hubbub everywhere? I looked a little while ago and on Twitter, it was the number one trending subject on Twitter. What do you think it was?
How big are Mickey Mouse's ears?
P. Diddy, bro.
I was going to say, I saw a bunch about P. Diddy.
Yeah. And he
stacking up on
didn't
social media today.
He
And
didn't
I kept scrolling through that shit, and I was like, I don't want to read about P. Diddy.
He didn't make bail. I mean, they didn't give him bail. He's being charged with some pretty dark shit, but the darkest of the stuff he's not even being charged for. And that involving underage people and shit like that. Listen, man. Listen. From what I'm finding out, this guy was just as much of an asset as Epstein was.
Yeah.
You know, but it's a distraction. Why all of a sudden now? Why all of a sudden now? What's going on? And also all this stuff surfacing about how tight like Hillary is to P. Diddy, how tight Kamala is with him, even Trump. I mean, there's a whole bunch. I mean, this guy he was doing some really crazy shit. Did you hear? They said that the FBI, and this is out there, they found over 1,000 bottles of lube when they raided his house. 1,000 bottles of lube.
Is that LOOB?
You know, like Astroglide and shit like that. You know.
LUBE.
Yeah, LUBE, you know, like sex lubricant.
You don't believe that, right? I mean, you really don't believe that, do you?
I don't know, man. Some of the stories I've heard coming out of those, and this is before any of this, like for the last couple of years, from some people on some of these podcasts that have been to these freak offs and shit. There's one dude, he's got it on cell phone audio of, I guess, P. Diddy railing some other dude. It's of course audio only, but yeah. And what he's talking about this shit. I mean, I'm like,
I'm not saying
I
that
put nothing past all these guys, and if they need a fall
I'm
guy,
not saying,
create one, you know.
Hey, I'm not saying P. Diddy didn't do some weird stuff, but it's almost like that same thing as what they were trying to do to Dave Chappelle. It's like once you get so far, they just go with that stuff. It doesn't matter whether you did it or not.
Has P. Diddy been speaking out? Has P. Diddy been speaking out?
He's in jail.
But has he spoke out like about like doing like has he spoke out about like his enemies?
All right,
like
so let me see if I
are
can
doing
find
those
it real
things,
quick.
because I haven't heard P. Diddy speak out about those other guys, and that's typically when they throw them under the bus.
So check this out. Let me put this up real quick. I mean, this guy looks really shady, and you know, hey, we know how they try to psyop us, so we're dissecting this shit. But check this out.
My name's Ava. I'm a Scorpio.
No. What's your last name?
Oh, Ava Combs.
What's your other last name?
Ava Baroni.
Eva Baroni Combs. Yes, it's breaking news. Diddy adopted a white child. I want you to tell them the story about how I adopted you. But you still have beautiful parents but you're my child also. But please tell the story.
So, I was on the streets, and then Papa Combs decided that he would like to be a caring man. So then he saw me and decided to pick me up and to come inside and play with his kids.
That's disgusting.
Like a little bit like borderline suspect. I don't want nobody, we want to get it said. I adopted you like Madonna adopted kids and everybody else adopted kids. Charlize Theron, everybody that's ever adopted Sandra Bullock. I adopted you because I felt that you could, enjoy also having a black parent to take care of you and help you out. So, just clarify it because it's crazy out here online. So I played with the kids. And I got permission from your mother. And say all of that. Just make it, it's crazy out here.
I met Jesse and Viola when I was 6 months old.
6 months.
And then basically sisters, all 4 of us. So, and then I always come over.
Yes. And it's Ava Baroni Combs. Let's go.
No, what the fuck is that all about, man?
Dude, don't even fucking kiss a kid that is not biologically yours. Don't kiss a child that is biologically yours. Like, I don't know. I've kissed my son on the head before, but I mean, he was like a baby.
Well, I'm looking for this thing. This was some sick testimony too. Okay. His ex, Cassie, you guys know about her? She said, I'm just going to put it up there. I'm just going to put it up there. And this is, I verified this in court testimony documents that there's links on X to them. But yeah, just go ahead and read that. So this is the kind of crazy shit that we're dealing with here. And of course, look who they're good friends with. What?
We're not going to get into sophisticated politics. We're going to talk about a problem that we have in young America. Young Americans being disenfranchised. Only 36% of us have voted. And I wanted you to speak. You're one of the few politicians that young people relate to. And we wanted to just hear the message on why you feel it's important for them to vote this year. Young people that, and please talk to the people that are disenfranchised, that don't believe in the power of their vote.
Well, I really think that this year more than any other, young people have their entire futures at stake. When I go to the floor of the Senate to cast a vote, I'm casting a vote about what the economy is going to look like and what kind of jobs are going to be available, whether there's going to be health care, whether there's going to be good education. Every issue that you can imagine has a direct...
Well, anyway, I ain't got to go through that whole thing. He's been closely associated with them and the island. Some really sick shit going on with these people. Here he is with Barack Obama. Check this out.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all. Thank you. And I just want to say how much I appreciate Puff Daddy for doing the kinds of work that he's doing, because he doesn't have to do this. But this is part of what is important about giving back.
We applaud you, and I want to apologize for not sweating, but I do this so much. I'm so cool. I just want y'all to see everybody I'm interviewing is sweating. I'm not even touching my brow. I'm so cool, and I want to apologize. I ain't trying to make you look bad or nothing like that, but I'm just so cool. We
T-shirt. I tell you, if he was wearing one of those fancy designer clothes he's designing, he'd be sweating just like me.
Probably coked up like a month. You know what I'm saying?
Looks like
These guys,
man, something.
yeah. That's some crazy shit, and you know, with this election and everything, and you got to wonder where's all this stuff coming from all of a sudden, you know, and everybody trying to blame each thing on one side or the other, and this is why I try to tell everybody, man, don't you see it for the big fucking circus show that it is? Okay, quit looking at the pretty lady in the sparkly dress. Okay, she's there to distract you. Keep your eyes off the lady in red. Keep your eyes on the prize, you know? And people are just too easily distracted. So I've seen that just like dominating Twitter today. And just kind of blew me away. But anyway, on that, outside of that, I don't know. If you got anything that you think on that kind of crap, let me know.
What was dominating Twitter?
Oh, this whole Sean Combs arrest and indictments, and
that he's guilty or that they're blowing it up?
Well, he's not going to get any bail until after he's actually arraigned on these. I think there's trafficking charges, narcotics charges, and some kind of firearms charges as well. So he's got to stay in there until he goes to court and sees a judge. And so far that he went and wasn't granted bail. So I don't know,
So
man.
If you're on Twitter, then what do you think the balance is? Do you think it's like, what is the percentage of that people are like, let him go, and that people are like, yeah, throw the book at him? What do you think the percentage is?
That would be hard to gauge because it would all depend on who you follow and what kind of an algorithm's fed to you. You know, I follow, you know, some of the more interesting people, not because I necessarily agree with them, but because they post a lot of the shit that comes on. Sometimes I'll go ahead and follow somebody that puts something out that I'm like, hey, that's pretty good. I'll go and look at their stuff and I'll follow. But I don't really post a lot. I'll repost, but I don't really post a lot because quite literally Twitter is a fucking trailer park. Yeah, it really is. So I do get some content from there, you know, regarding what's going on, because I think you get a faster information as to what they're trying to pull just by looking at this, because people are reacting in real time. You know, okay, so here's the latest distraction. Here's what they want everybody to go toward now. Why? And that's what I look at. I think it's interesting that they're doing this right now at the same time as, you know, and then showing the connections between this character and like Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, Hillary Clinton, you know, the usual cast of suspects. At the same time as somebody, you know, look at what the narrative, stand back and look at the picture they're trying to paint, right? These evil people, these Democrats that are caught up with the fucking sex traffickers and all this other crap, right? And they're probably behind trying to have Donald Trump killed not once, but twice now. Twice he's almost died for our sins, right? And I'm like, okay, this is a complete psyop, everybody. What are you not seeing about it? That's another thing I'm starting to see big. The second biggest trending thing was this girl in it's California or Florida. I can't remember which. Yeah, she needed some kind of treatment at the hospital, but the hospital wouldn't give her this treatment unless she got these 3 vaccinations. And she got them, and now she's all messed up in the hospital. And She doesn't have any insurance. I mean, it's the amount of coverage that I've seen of this is telling me that's another thing that hits me too, is when something's really when they push it at you too hard. And that's one of the things I noticed on this story too, is that it's being pushed at you way too hard. Let me see if I can find the thing about her.
Hey, I have a question for you.
The blood that's going through her head.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, my question is that thing with Trump. What do you think it is that in that psyop of going 2 assassinations, what do you think that they're trying to actually put in place with that? I mean, that little script behind the scenes, like what do you think your opinion is on what they're trying to put in place?
One, I think, is going to be there's this algorithm that Trump was actually pushing behind this. He likes it, and this algorithm that can go out there and tell if through people's social media posts and shit whether or not they pose any kind of a violent threat, and then they could red flag these people. That's one of the things he's looking at. Anybody that thinks that he's for your Second Amendment rights, your God-given right to protect yourself by whatever means you wish, you're sadly mistaken. He's the CEO of the same corporation. He's the CEO. He just is a potential CEO of the corporation that plots to take more and more of your shit all the time. Okay, they're not there for you. They don't represent you. They don't give a shit about you.
Hey, I have a question for you.
What's that?
I have a question. So, do you think that they're really setting him up to be a dictator, even though they claim it, oh, he wants to be and da-da-da? Do you think that they're setting it up so that everybody will then agree that he gets to rule from here on out?
Well, okay, so if I were the puppet master behind the scenes, I could run this one of two ways. If my ultimate goal is to really, because whatever the outcome is going to be, it's going to be chaotic. You have to realize this. Let's pretend that the elections are real, right? If Kamala Harris wins, the fucking Trump people are going to lose their goddamn minds, right? And if Trump gets in, the other people are going to lose their minds. So they could run it one of two ways. They really want to kick something off. They could go, and this is what I think, making it look so in the shoe that Trump is going to win. Just overwhelming numbers, overwhelming support, just like you saw, and obvious biases by the media, saying, oh, look, they're neck and neck, when everything around you shows that it is not that at all, right? And everybody's like, no, man, look, he doesn't even do any rallies. Nobody ever shows up, blah, 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 just like last time, right? And then jerk the rug out again, put Harris in there anyway, and, just laugh and go, you stupid bastards. I did it to you once and you didn't do anything about it, and I'm doing it again. You still won't do anything about it. I mean, I think the ultimate goal is, and back to him being a dictator, I don't know, man. He said some worrisome things to me that's got my attention. When he said, just vote for me this once and you'll never have to vote again. It's going to be so great. You'll never have to ever vote again. And I'm like, well, wait. What? Why? Will these people all be dead in 4 years? Or are you planning on maybe not going anywhere? Or what's the skinny there, Don? So I don't know. He says some worrisome things. I know he's got full backing of the state of Israel. But right now, it looks like the state of Israel is kind of imploding on itself. So I don't know, man. Crazy times.
I think a lot of it has to do with consent, too. The more people that they can get to give their consent to the system, then they're like in it in that way,
Right.
or let's just say like that. The mark.
Who chooses the president? Who elects the president?
The electoral college.
That's right. That's right. And do they have to go with the popular vote? Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Sure don't. So what is your vote really doing? Are you begging your delegates to vote a certain way? Is that what you're doing? You're pleading and begging for someone else to do something on your behalf? And they've made it plain that they don't necessarily have to? That's kind of ignorant. So what are you actually doing when you cast that ballot? You're giving your consent for whatever the fuck comes about from whatever, whoever wins. That's it. That's it. Don't matter if your guy wins or loses, you still consented to it by casting a ballot. Trickery, trickery, trickery. What was this thing here? Oh, yeah. So the girl with the vaccine thing. This is kind of, I don't know. Let me see what, I don't know whether to believe it or not. Okay. My tendency is to not, because of how much emphasis has been placed on this one case. I don't know. We'll watch a little bit. Let me see what you think. This is from Stu Peters put this out. A lot of people have been putting out stuff about this, but I kind of like the way Stu delivers stuff.
I want to show you a video. I think I have it queued up here. Roll that video of the hospital victim.
Now that's her. And I think this is, where did they say, San Diego? There's
It looks
Roscoe.
like she's been detained.
And yeah, it looks like somebody protected and served the shit out of her, you know? Yeah, it does. And it's because her head's swollen.
Yeah, this doesn't look real. I don't know. I feel bad for her. Really looks rough.
So yeah, I had a terrible, wonderful life, but it's now my time to go. This hospital won't help. No one is here to help me. Please make sure this place gets shut down as my last wish. She's claiming that the hospital staff will, because they've said that they're thinking on suing. Now the hospital staff, they wouldn't even help her go to the bathroom. She had to pee in a bucket, and they were giving her the generic medications. She doesn't have any insurance. So I guess they've started a GoFundMe page for this. It's got a lot of people up in arms saying they're going to go and help and this, that, and the other. So I don't know halfway what to believe about this crap, man.
I personally don't think that they would allow it to get this mainstream. Something, something this legit. And GoFundMe is also not very good at helping people in situations like this. A lot of times, like I don't know. I don't want to delegitimize what this is if it is real. But at the same time, as someone who, is skeptical of things, we have to, at least question it.
Well, I'm of the school that if something is pushed at me too hard, there's something about it. Like, why do you want me to eat the cake so badly? What's the gig? Did you put laxatives in it? Is it poison? Does it taste nasty? Why are you so adamant that I have to bite your cake, man? I don't get it. And that's where I start to get, that's where my red flags start going up. And so when something
It's
like
got
this
THC in it.
Especially when sales tactics are used, holy shit, like the final experiment thing, holy crap. This guy, if he doesn't sell timeshares, he should, because he's using all the classic sales techniques. Hurry, buy now, limited time offer, free, vacation, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Has he responded? Has he responded to Lucky Haskins yet? Lucky
Well, yeah,
Haskins
I thought you were
offering
I
a
haven't
once in a
seen I haven't seen
lifetime.
him respond to it.
I mean, that's a once in a lifetime opportunity, a free vacation to go and actually do some actual experiments and tests for curvature across the beautiful Lake Gitche Gumi. Hell, just doing the experiments alone, you're taking in some breathtaking views. Who would turn that down unless they were a shill or a con man, right?
That's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying, man.
certainly only a fool.
Even like who I like, if this man offered me a visit just to come up there and spend a few days on the lake and take some cool pictures and collect some cool rocks, let's go fucking do that.
Hell yeah, man.
Like, even if we
Lucky's-
don't agree with
Lucky's a
each
cool
other,
cat,
let's go hang out and have a couple beers and go out on the fucking lake together, dude.
That's right, man. Lucky's a cool cat, man. If y'all haven't been, if you're not subscribed to Lucky Haskins, go to Lucky Haskins' channel, subscribe to him. If Barbara would put his link in, or one of my peeps out there put his link in the chat, that'd be great. Because listen, he's moment of truth, man. Every day he gives it to you straight up and hard.
Sorry, Saab, but who calls themselves lucky?
Well, I guess somebody who's had good fortune, or it could even be in a sarcastic manner.
Yeah, ironic, like
ironic, using irony.
I mean, he's got to be living large on a lake, and has enough to be able to invite people to come to his
I don't
place.
think people that live up in that area are living like too large. No, I mean, it does seem like he has a couple of cabins and whatnot, but up there in that area,
Well, there's a lot of people that
I know he should have called himself Large Haskins.
He's got that's some beautiful country up there, and I'll tell you what, they get some harsh winters.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of industry. Most of the industry, it revolves around fishing, around the lakes and that, and forestry, lumber, that kind of thing. But up where he's at, there's a lot more people that are just kind of like the retired type. They've done their thing and now they're ready to get away from everybody, and it's that kind of a place. They get snow, man, and you have to dig like tunnels out through sometimes, man. It gets pretty it gets pretty deep snow, cold lake effect off that lake. Gitche Gumi ain't no joke in the wintertime, man, or in the fall.
I was watching a video of a guy like going fishing up there earlier tonight with my brother. Like, this guy, they had to like dig a trench for their car to drive through just so they could get to the lake and get their boats and snowmobiles like up this ramp.
You get that lake effect snow coming in, which is like a whole different weather system that
Well, he's on a peninsula too. He's on a peninsula, that little rabbit ear that sticks up off the upper peninsula of Michigan. That's the Keweenaw. And he's right up there, man. He's got it from all sides around him, man.
Yeah, that gets cold out.
That Canada.
I lived in Wisconsin for a year and a half, and it got super cold there. We get like -30 wind chills, and we were right off the Mississippi River, and the Mississippi and the Black River would freeze over during the winter.
Yeah.
And you could drive a truck on the river, but people would be going up and down in jet skis, and they do ice fishing and
man, we take our snowmobiles out on the lake. I grew up outside of Detroit, and we lived on a lake. We'd take snowmobiles right out on the lake. We'd have an ice shanty anchored down out on the ice. You go in there, man, you can sit there in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. It's nice and warm. Light comes up through the ice, and you got a little hole there, man. You're fishing through, and you get a bite, pull that little sucker back up through the hole, pitch him up.
That's what me and my brother was watching earlier, man. We were watching ice fishing videos, and I was watching guys do this. But it's so cool, dude. Much respect for that, because that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, but you got to get out there. You got to pay attention to the weather. If it's getting ready to thaw, you better get out there and tow your shed back in.
Yeah.
They sink. So I've seen them start going. I've seen a couple of them fall through and just go to the bottom of the lake, But hey.
Yeah, I wonder how many sheds are on the bottom of those lakes.
Not too many. We'd go back down there and recover stuff all the time, like ice spuds that you chop the hole in the ice with. Dude'd be sitting there chopping through the ice, and he's not got nothing tied to his wrists, and he's like chunk, 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 and it slip out of his hands and go right on through the ice and down. And in the spring, you could put on a snorkel and mask and go out in that area where most of the ice fishing was doing. And you'd see them sticking up out of the bottom couple places, pull them up, sandblast them, paint them, sell them.
Nice.
Shit, yeah. Anyway, let me finish with this Stu Peters thing. This girl. You believe in that? What do you think about this, Rasta?
I think this is wild. I've seen quite a few people posting it as of today. I mean, it's been one of the top stories that's been going around. People have been sharing, and I mean, it could be real, but I think honestly, like some of these hospitals, they have human resources department that if they really messed her up that bad and they were accountable for that, then they wouldn't let this story get out. They would do something to right the situation, I would think. Yeah. But, honestly, some of the pictures look like, like some of these horror movies where they're using like Halloween makeup or something, like the special effects to make her look that way. But I don't know. It could just be, I've just never seen personally this ever happen. For all of us that have looked into what these little pokey things do to people, when once have we ever seen this type of a reaction from it? Like this has got to be like.
Yeah, I gotta say this is an oddity.
One of the things I was wondering, they can't puncture that and just release the pressure just to make it easier on her.
Her claim is that because she doesn't have any insurance, they're not doing anything. They're not providing any care.
Yeah, I heard her say that.
And that goes against that's a HIPAA violation, I believe.
Yeah, that is a HIPAA violation.
They have to treat people even if they don't have insurance. Like that's part of their, their code is like they have to provide service, and then they worry about payment later. Especially,
I think they talk about that in this.
Yeah, they have plaques all over the wall that say that no matter whether you have insurance or not, they're required to provide you with service. They have plaques on the walls.
Well, service, but what defines service?
It might be a hoax. Listen, I just said this earlier to Mike from THC. I was talking to him, and I said, I don't know, man. We were talking about this. And I said, I don't know. There's something always give me the heebie-jeebies about putting squirting shit into your veins. Okay, that's what snakes do. Shit on that. I don't want that, man. I never did like that. Even when I was a little kid, I had to get a shot. I was like, man, there's just something wrong with that. That I never saw anything good about it, and it's even worse now. Now that I know more, that I was on the right track. Trust your gut, Dave. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, it's
seeing right there. I'm going to pull up this tweet here from Nurse Erin, who was on the program yesterday. Take a look at this. Quote, have you seen what's happening to Alexis Lorenzi at UCI Irving Medical Hospital? She's fighting for her life right now, injured by 3 vaccines at once. The hospital is doing the hospital is doing nothing to help her. She's being gaslit and neglected. She even had to pee in a bucket because no one would assist her. Lexi went in for treatment for PNH, but they forced her to take those vaccines first. This is absolutely unacceptable. We need accountability, and we need to save her life. UCI Irving Medical Hospital.
They don't force anybody.
The City Drive South, Orange, California.
That's what I was going to say. Like,
There's their phone number.
When do they force somebody to take any of these things? They don't even force you to take the COVID vaccine anymore.
That's why I'm saying this is sounding more and more like horseshit. The more that I look at it, the more it's sounding like horseshit to me. And watch it. What'll happen is it'll come out that this was a hoax, and then they'll say, "See how desperate these anti-vaxxers are." Blah 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 blah.
They're doing. This is total psyop season, and they're putting out all kinds of things to make people who are interested in the truth look ridiculous. Same with the cats and dogs thing. You know,
Yeah,
the cats and dogs in Haiti.
Yeah.
And,
They're
like,
saying
and then how,
the fucking Venezuelans are coming up here and stealing people's
yeah,
pets and barbecuing their cats and dogs. Not only that, it's election year. They're telling us
and then how
there's going to
Trump.
be another pandemic. They're telling us they're going to have another pandemic, and then like
Well, yeah, we got the
2
bird flu.
assassination attempts, and he said
Trump used the
God's
cat
gonna
and
save
dog
him,
thing.
and I saw where fucking Trump said the other, or I think it was like yesterday. Trump said some shit like he knows that it's God that is protecting him, and that it's the Democrats' rhetoric in the news media, and then they banned RT today from being shared on Facebook, which is the only reason I shared an RT article. I shared the RT article on Facebook today, like the link to it, because it was the RT article on RT being banned from Meta, all Meta apps. And
and see,
dude,
like
I thought it was so funny. And as soon as I posted it, the little disclaimer came up and said that this was Russia collusion or suspected Russian connections, and that most likely, if you read this article, you're going to have misinformation or some dude. It was so fucking stupid the way it explained it.
Yeah, no, it's wild. You know, like in the debate where Trump, you know, that was the dumbest thing ever when he brought up the dogs and cats thing in the debate and didn't have.
It sounded dumb. It sounded dumb, but now it's like the biggest fucking story.
They took it and ran with it, you know, and made all these memes. That was like it's, you know, you're still seeing tricklings of these memes of that. And the way he even said it is like they're eating their dogs and cats. Like, you know, it's like if someone
they're eating the dogs. Okay, they're eating the dogs.
It's just it's so insane. And then yeah, this golf course thing. What's fascinating about it is how Time Magazine put out this news,
the little with the fucking golf cart and all that.
Yeah, with him in the sand trap.
Why was the news filming him? Why was a news company filming him playing golf in the first damn place?
Yeah.
Did they catch another bullet this time?
No.
The shooter didn't even have him in his sight.
No, that's what I said earlier, man. Actually, the official story, the FBI agent that, or the FBI, the head of the FBI came out and said today that this guy was not even aiming towards Trump or the FBI. He was just shooting or something. He was shooting in
He was aiming for a duck to eat.
They said he was aiming at a different direction. Now, they didn't release him or anything like that, but they said he was aiming in a different direction, so they do not believe the second thing was an assassination attempt.
He was trying to shoot. He was trying to shoot a Haitian. He was shooting a Haitian immigrant that was eating a satanic ritual cat. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Well, and what's crazy is like they could have filmed this thing like a week ago, or like, you know, it doesn't even have to have really happened. You know, the way they said it. It could have all just been, you know, just like a stage setup where like the guy allegedly has had like 100 run-ins with the police where like he barricaded himself into like his house during one of the standoffs.
He had a quote-unquote weapon of mass destruction, which was technically just an automatic rifle. It was a fully automatic like AK-47 type rifle or something like that.
And that's where I think a lot of this is just like a litmus test of society. I think they're, you know, the controllers are trying to gauge just how gullible not only like Trump's base is, but like society as a whole. How many people are just buying whatever bullshit they throw out there right now? And it's sad because a good percentage of them are. And with anything, you know, it only takes, you know, even if 33% of us see it as a lie, as long as the rest buy it, then they win. You know, it doesn't matter. We can shout it from the rooftops, and people are just gonna not pay us any mind or attention, because they won't ever accept that, you know, that these people will ever lie to us in any
What are you
way.
saying, Rasta? We're the real 33.
Yeah, the true 33 and the third.
Okay, what about the story now? There's another one that they're bombing everybody with now. No pun intended. About Hezbollah pagers exploding. That the
Oh yeah,
I saw that. Yeah.
I was listening to that. It blew up their balls or something like that. That's one of
it killed 10 or 11 or something like that, but it injured like 98.
Now I do believe, honestly, our cell phones have that capability to where they can explode them. I think like that's one of the like hidden things. Like, you know, like I always look at these 5G towers, and I really do believe that they can remotely do this. You know,
Well, you felt your phone heat up in your pocket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've had it to where I've been concerned it was going to blow up before.
Yeah, I've took my phone out of my pocket, threw it in my truck before, and walked away from it because I was like, I don't know what's going on here.
I just got one of those EMF readers, and it's interesting with that. You can tell all kinds of electromagnetic frequencies, but when your cell phone's not plugged in, you know, it just is normal, and you can like read your heart, and it just gives a normal reading of like in the 20s. But the second you plug your phone in, that electricity goes all the way through your body and through into your heart, and even out your other hand. It'll read like in the 90s.
Yeah.
It's pretty fascinating that, you know,
and
and that's same.
That's so funny, man. We got these electrical meters at work, and we played around with this, and we put our phones in different spots, like like on different gang boxes and on different material, like stainless steel or copper or whatever, to see what produces the most. And we'll take our like little meters around and just see what. Like if we, you know, if somebody like reads a conspiracy theory that has to do with any of that at work, we're like, let's go test it out because we have the materials laying around.
Here's a cell phone, like you were saying, Rasta, being induced to explode.
Now think about if they did this on like a mass scale. How much of the population they could take out just instantly, just
like everybody at a concert's phone at one time.
Exactly.
Or something like that. Yeah, no doubt. That would be
exactly.
Yeah, everybody at a concert. Damn, man. Yeah.
And you know, even like all the people who have all the mRNA in them at this point. You know, like using the 5G towers and stuff, they can, you know, I wonder if they can even isolate those little mRNA nanotechnology and cause like a little microburst to go off inside of them or whatever and cause like a smaller reaction.
Y'all are tripping. You've been watching too many movies, because it was like in The Kingsman when that dude downloaded that app into that phone, and when it rang on that phone, all them people got violent and started killing each other.
And what's that movie, Stephen King movie, The Cell, where like the cell phones, like they send out this signal and it turns
wasn't it John Cusack in that movie?
Yeah. Turns everybody into like psycho killers because they get this cellular download, which I totally believe. Like I even saw this meme earlier today that, you know, that's truly what our prison is a cell phone. That's why they call it a cell phone, because most people are imprisoned to their cellular device. And I think that what we're seeing here is just like them either is showing the population what can happen just in an instant, because that would be the quickest way to pop in and just do like a you know, initial strike before they would do an EMP or anything like that. Just popped off the little mini bursts on people, and then
well,
it's wild.
Did you see this about the COVID tests? Oh, real quick, watch this guy. Hold on. You're going to love this. Because this is how ridiculous it is. Okay.
Legal? Oh my God, I'm a fucking felon. Illegal. Super illegal. ATF boner alert. I'm a fucking felon now. Legal.
Yep.
And that would actually hinder that gun. That would
They
actually
probably-
be a hindrance.
It gives you more control. And more control. More, yeah.
Okay, that segue thing again with COVID. Like, what was that?
Oh, this. It says Poison Control is looking into the home test kits because they found dangerous chemicals.
Ooh, now that's something as an Instacart shopper, I purchase a lot of these at home test kits for people and deliver them. They're about $10 a pop, and you'll see them in the grocery stores. They'll have cases of them set up on display. I even saw some set up by these birthday balloons the other day. Like it was like, birthday balloons and then COVID tests in the middle of the balloons, and I'm like this is just insanity because it says right on the box that they don't work. First off, it says that, they're not accurate and that they, that they're not reliable if you're really trying to find out if you're sick or not. And yet people buy them like they're, like they're candy or cigarettes.
I know, man. Well, listen to this. Watch.
Million people who are receiving those free government-issued at-home COVID tests. The extraction tube in many of the kits includes a chemical that can be harmful or even deadly. It's colorless, tasteless, odorless. It's a powder that's found in things like airbags and pest control solutions. Maya Belay from our Cleveland station checks in with Poison Control for a look at the potential dangers.
Ohio poison control centers are sounding the alarm surrounding a liquid substance called sodium azide, found in some at-home COVID testing kits that could be toxic to children as well as adults if used incorrectly.
Our toxicology community has been both surprised that this was the ingredient in some of the kits and also concerned. We have seen exposures in all age groups.
The Drug and Poison Information Center at Cincinnati Children's Hospital reports an increase in calls to their hotline related to accidental exposure to the substance. So far, nearly 40 exposures were reported there, and the problem is nationwide.
We are one of 55 poison control centers, and nationwide, other poison centers have been reporting a similar finding, and there have been more than a couple of hundred exposures nationwide to sodium azide in test kits.
Doctors advise parents to keep the kids out of reach of children, and when testing children for COVID at home, to make sure they are supervised in order to avoid any adverse side effects from exposure.
Sodium.
Holy
Are you going
crap.
to allow your fucking child, your like 3-year-old child, to stick a stick up their nose?
Well, and they're not going, don't do this because it could be dangerous. They're saying if you do it, but be careful.
Yeah, people who are gonna see this, they're still gonna buy the tests. Like they didn't even hear all this. Like they're still gonna be like, well, I need to get tested to find out if I have the thing.
I'm
so
saying even if they're dumb enough to take the test.
No.
Because that's one of the things that I fucking told everybody like from the fucking start of it. I said, don't
No.
take the fucking test because
No.
you're a statistic.
It
You have to
it
report
said-
and you're a statistic.
It said-
And
Hey.
these motherfuckers come out here and now they're telling you to like supervise your children while your children give themselves the test.
It said if used incorrectly. That's what the whole thing is. It's if used incorrectly.
Yeah, well, that and if this was something that was really like something that was still going around, these tests should be free. To the public. They shouldn't be something where it should hurt their, income to have to continue to buy these. Because like I say, a case of these tests, I did the math and it's about $3,000 they're making off just one of those cases of these tests. And these are in every store, across the country. probably across the world still. You know, a lot of these countries that participate.
Dude, they got them in a fucking local Ingles.
There's still people here that walk around, you know, outside with masks, sometimes double masks, and not everybody, you know, it's you know, it's kind of rare, but it's still they're there. You know,
Get ready, babe. Get ready. We're having the bird flu conference in Washington, D.C. next month. It starts next month. They've had this thing planned since the spring, and it's going to cover such lovely subjects as everything from containing people to mortuary duties and things like that. So they're
I noticed
to ramp something up.
I noticed at the Home Depot with all the Halloween decorations this year, like, you know, they have the animatronic ones there that, you know, they got like Frankenstein and all these other ones. But one of the big ones that they had there was the Plague Doctor from the, you know, the Black Plague.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of their, you know, their go-to decorations this year with the big beak mask. And so they're definitely still priming it up, but yeah.
Dude, I fucking bought one of those. And I fucking said, if they start this shit up again, that's what I'm wearing to work.
You bought the beak mask?
I bought a beak mask. Now it's a fake one. It don't have like the actual N95 like filters or anything in it.
Oh, I love that.
But I bought a beak mask, and I said if they put these restrictions on us again, this is what I'm wearing to work.
I wish I still had my M17 gas mask from the Army.
Oh, dude, I still
wear
got
that
mine.
Band-Aid
I just
on your
converted it over
ear.
to something else.
What's that?
Wear
What
that
now?
Band-Aid on your ear.
Oh, I healed. I'm a fast healer. I'm a fast healer, like our Lord and Savior Jesus Trump.
Yeah. I got cut on my nose this week demolishing an awning. I had this piece of metal fly back and whack me, and I had blood coming down, and I definitely felt like Trump at that moment because there was real blood coming down.
Well, no, you actually had real blood.
But yeah, I had real blood, and I have a scab. You know, here it's starting to heal up now. But yeah, it's definitely.
So far, Trump don't have no scab, no mark, no missing ear.
Man, I'm telling you.
And one thing I did after I got injured myself is I took a selfie right away. And then, you know, if he really did injure himself, you know, he's all about the media. He would be taking close-ups of that thing, you know, like showing people how real it was. But he didn't.
Look at this thing. Yeah, man, he would have. Yeah, Trump,
like,
as much as
yeah,
he
like,
is,
why
he is
would
all
he
about fucking exposure.
Why would he not show off his battle scar? You know,
I know, right? I would. I'd be like, look what
changing
they tried to do. Look at this. Look at, right? No, he's like, oh yeah,
fuck,
I'm a
man.
fast
With
healer.
even with you guys, if I got shot in the fucking ear, I'd be like, hey guys, I got shot in the fucking ear. Check this shit out.
Yeah. I mean, the
like,
guys,
just look at it.
like
I don't even care if the world knows about it. You guys would know about it. Like, I'd be like, I got shot in the fucking ear.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that, you know, you would show that thing off. You know, it's like you get shot, you want to show people. That's what always happens.
Speaking of PSYOPs, the final experiment.
Oh, here we go again.
The final.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
I was going to say,
no.
Voyager went past Pluto.
Did you see the latest one that Duffy put out on the final experiment today? It was he had a live stream. It was an hour and 6 minutes. I popped in just like, who is this cat? You know, that he was talking to. A guy named Joe Hanvey. So it's a live
Y'all need to
chat
leave
with
Duffy alone.
Joe Hanvey. So I don't know if this guy is legit. Has anybody had heard of him before? I went and checked out his channel. And let me just pull it up real quick.
I'd be interested to know how many hours of stream time people have spent at this point up to date right now discussing the final experiment. I bet it's like days.
Hey.
Oh, probably.
Duffy's just trying to make his way in this world.
Yeah, I mean, like he's become a household name, you know, kind of like, you know, and he has such a name that, you know, is kind of like a Huffy Bike or Duff Beer.
Right.
You know, it's a mixture of the two.
So I went over, I checked out, he's got 58 videos. He's got 386 subs. Let me bring this up real quick. This is his channel right here.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know.
Me.
Okay, so what I'm wondering, does anybody know much about this guy? If they watched any of his videos? I haven't yet. It looks like he spans back. Let me see. I'm finding 6 months. Okay, I'm not familiar with him. I don't know if any of you have heard of him. But apparently Duffy was interviewing him about the final experiment. So I don't know. The reason I said PSYOP is because one of the tactics, one of the things I've seen occur frequently is that these flat earth hater channels, they'll have some flat earther that is not really a flat earther. It's just a stooge that they get to beat up and have them say stupid shit to make flat earth look stupid. Okay. And I didn't really watch the whole thing. You know, it's like, whatever. I did comment about, is he going to ever respond to Lucky Haskins' offer? He hasn't answered any of the comments that I've left on that, but some of his people have, and asking me, well, what's going to be done at this Lucky Haskins thing? What's the experiment, this, that, and the other? And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? You're testing for curvature on like the biggest inland lake in the world, right? And then they're like, all this other, and I'm like, wait a second, why don't you stooges let Will Duffy answer for himself? How about that? How about you let him answer for himself? And Lucky's been really quite gracious. He said he would let him bring anybody he wanted. He could bring his good buddy Toon up there with him if he wanted to. And that guy's supposed to be like some kind of an expert or something on stellar navigation or the like. I don't know.
That's one thing that fascinates me. Like you say, you have these interactions and, you know, in the comments with people that you've never met before, and they don't make content at all. Mm-hmm. And I've encountered the same thing, you know, like on videos where these people would come in and, you know, ask you questions where you have to spend your time and invest time into explaining things to them and whatnot. And I think that that's their whole, you know, whole mechanism in the operation is to consume our time and to have us put energy into, you know, answering their questions.
I had one doing that to me today. What the hell was that guy's name? I know he's got to still be up here. He probably did answer. Let me see. Andrew Johnson. And he says, is Lucky going to be on your show? Perhaps you can ask him the question. Why don't you ask him, Andrew? I did invite you. I said, because that's the first I've heard out of him until I said, look, why don't you come on to the show tonight and you can discuss it with me? Crickets. That's his answer. Is Lucky going to be on the show? Well, have you even been over to Lucky's channel? Have you bothered to drop anything in the comments and ask any questions? No, I don't believe you have. So why are you asking me what someone else is going to do?
And that's one thing where YouTube used to be able to just click on people's names and go to their channels, you know, and look up their content, and they made it more difficult for you to be able to do that. And that's because a lot of these are just sock accounts, you know, that just come out of left field, you know, that, you know, that are part of some bigger operation. Tonight, right now, we're entering into a lunar eclipse, total lunar eclipse. I think it's starting like right now, and then it goes for the next it'll be a full eclipse here in about 2 hours and 30 minutes.
No, it's not going to be full. It's only going to be half.
No, I thought it was a
It's
total
partial.
lunar eclipse.
No, it's a partial lunar eclipse. But it peaks. Actually, where are you at, Rasta?
I'm in Oregon, and so it peaks
Oregon.
at 10:44. Yeah, here in a couple hours. So I'm hoping
it
the sky
peaks
will
here
clear up.
in like 20 minutes, but it's only partial. It's like a half. I don't know.
So
You
it's
guys,
so it
you guys
operates.
might have a full.
It operates similar to like a solar eclipse. How it sweeps across and like does the peak thing in different areas.
Yeah. That's what I'm
and
saying. Like it's
and
only half here. You might have a full.
yeah, it's yeah. I think we do here. But I think I find it fascinating. Because I'm still trying to figure out what exactly is happening up there. To cause this shadow to go across the moon.
It's physics.
Yeah, I get that.
I'm on the idea that it's the opposite nodes, like nodal points. Have you looked into that? Nodal points.
It sounds familiar, but
it's like the electrical where it like breaks and becomes neutral.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a blood moon? Is this thing isn't a blood moon again, is it?
Yeah,
I think it's a blood moon, but it's only a partial eclipse.
A super moon, I think a harvest moon. If I'm not mistaken.
Might be harvest, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a harvest super moon.
I don't know. We're socked in with clouds. I ain't gonna be able to see shit.
I can't see it either, man.
All day long, man.
Man, I looked at it. I've timed everything out. I got my cameras ready. I got everything, and then all of a sudden,
bastards.
Spray.
We might get here.
Spraying in the skies. The shit.
It's got some breaks in the clouds. I'm really hoping to see it. We got a pretty good view of the moon from my spot.
So as I was saying before, anybody of you familiar with this Joseph Hanvey? He's got a few videos out. I might look into him. He's got one here on his lunar eclipse theory. The 24-hour Antarctic sun can't go far enough south in this app to see it, but something.
I'm not.
Around 6 months. 386 subscribers, 58 videos.
That's amazing how some people, that you've never even heard of, they've almost got as many subscribers as I do, and I've been around for years.
I mean, it's really not that much. That's really not much, especially in this type of community or whatever.
More subscribers than me.
With us, you got David Foster with us. How you doing, David Foster?
How you doing, alpha males?
All right, man. I'm actually a
Ohio
signal.
Sheriff suggests residents to make a list of homes with Harris yard signs. There you go.
David Foster.
I'm looking at okay, which clown do you want? Because it's like until any of them ever go on a platform of, all right, we need to shit can the Federal Reserve. Okay, that's first off. That I'll vote. I'll go ahead and I'll vote if there's ever a candidate that'll do that. But you know what? They won't. They never will.
They'll get assassinated.
The Federal Reserve, the insider stock trading, and the dual citizenship. Those are three big points that I would need to see happen before I'd see any legitimacy in any of it.
I certainly don't see Trump tackling the dual citizenship aspect of it, and I can't see Harris. I don't think she's even aware of what it is.
I don't think Harris is aware of anything.
Yeah.
No, she got it. Probably, I think maybe Yeah,
I
she's
think
she's got the IQ of a potato.
I think those Noah Hyde laws are some serious things to look into that either candidate could bring into effect. And you know what else is really fascinating? If you've ever seen these construct vans in Ukraine rolling up and just throwing people that don't want to enlist, just throwing them in the vans and driving off.
Well, is that real though? I've seen them too, and I have to go,
Yeah.
man, that's awful. But is that actually happening? Is this? I think that just about everything we're hearing coming from that whole region is 95% propaganda from both sides of it, and very little actual reality. I really do.
But if
dude,
if
Sav,
they're
I'm right
feeding
there,
us the
100%. I'm
propaganda,
100% with Sav on this because, man, I'm telling you, there. Have you seen those videos with the reporters that were in Ukraine, like especially when they were first over there?
Yeah.
And there were like those guys that were like walking behind the camera. They would just like look up
Yeah.
and like all of a sudden realize they were on camera, and they would like wave at the camera like, "What the hell is going on?"
Yeah,
Like,
they're all
this is
hunkered
a
down
war
like
zone?
they're all hunkered down like they're getting shot at, and they're under fire, and here's these guys walking along with a goat, like what the hell are those guys
Yeah,
laying
like
down over there for?
like what? Yeah, what? Well, yeah.
If
Exactly.
they're feeding us the propaganda, though, like, would it make sense that they're priming our nation up for some real event? Like they're doing all this
I mean,
basically.
they could be.
Putting on the
I'm not gonna
show.
say it's not outside of the possibilities, but it just.
I mean,
I
that
think
would
it's
be the
fear.
most
I think it's
likely
fear
occurrence.
propaganda. I think it's more fear propaganda to make you think that this is going to happen over here. I think if
Yeah.
it started to happen over here, I think enough of us would actually step up and not let that happen. But
I think what we're going to see is a lot of this Q stuff really come to fruition. That like they're gonna pull back
don't
all the
think
Q
so.
narrative. I mean,
Those
that's what we're
guys,
seeing.
man.
That's what we're seeing with Diddy. Like he's part of that whole thing, and like it's all just fallen into place because like I followed that whole thing for quite a while, and now I don't think it's
I
going to be.
I looked into it and I got what I needed out of it to know that certain things were going on, and it was a revelation. It was a revelation. Now, do I think these Q people are the people that are going to try to step in and save us? No, I don't think that at all.
No, I don't either. I think it's.
I think a lot of these Q people they think that Trump's going to come in and that he's going to implement all of these like fucking propagations that are going to like take all these people down. No, that I don't think
They're
that's gonna
eating
happen.
the dogs. Okay.
I
check
think
this out.
honestly, though, I think Diddy. Like I think that if they did
That was
arrest
funny.
somebody
My
today, I
dog,
don't.
when I said that, my dog just looked up at me like, "What?"
I know my dog's whimpering in the other room, just like they're not big. But yeah, I think that like this. You were talking about Diddy right before I came on. I think that if anything, like they got him a good looking replacement to go sit in the cell for him.
Well, wait.
Before they even took him in. I mean, he was out whitewater rafting a couple weeks ago and taking selfies in Central Park. A couple hours before the indictment got served to him. I don't think there's any way that it's really.
Do you believe in
really
Q?
him.
All right, check this out. Right, I'm gonna bring this up. Whoop whoop. All right, dig this dude. Right. All right. Let me. Ding ding ding.
They've released the indictment against Diddy, meaning they're telling us what they're charging him with now that they've arrested him. And there's some things that are missing. It's 14 pages long, and if you're on X, where we can post links, the link will be right below. Basically, they're charging him with guns, prostitution, drugs, and the whole racketeering thing. But they are not charging him with anything related to minors, anything related to video.
Does that surprise anybody?
Lucian Grange's name, the CEO of Universal Music Group that was in the original allegations, his name's nowhere to be found. We'll dig into some theories on all that in just a second. But first, some key points and a funny thing. They talk about the freak-offs, and they talk about raiding his home and finding supplies for the freak-offs. Notably, apparently, in the raid of Diddy's home, they found more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. Bro. They are clearly drawing from the Cassie lawsuit with statements like, these assaults often resulted in injuries that took days or weeks to heal. I'm sure she's not the only witness they've got. These occasions included instances in which a victim was required to remain in hiding, sometimes for several days at a time, to recover from injuries Combs inflicted without being publicly observed. Cassie alleged that at one point it was more than a week, maybe multiple weeks, to heal from her injuries.
God.
It's a fucked up lawsuit. He's also charged with tampering with witnesses by bribing and intimidating them, including acts of violence, including kidnapping and arson. Multiple counts of that. They also found 3 AR-15s with defaced serial numbers and a drum magazine, along with a ton of drugs and other stuff. They list out the specific drug compounds. And now here's the bigger picture. What they're actually doing to him is they're basically charging him with enough to put him away for good, theoretically. And they're seeking to forfeit any and all property, real and personal, involved when used in any of these crimes, as well as any property, stuff, profits derived from or proceeds obtained from any of these crimes, including if he's gotten rid of anything, sold anything, or his assets have diminished in value, they intend to take from him equal value to everything he's being charged with, regardless. They'll
Civil asset forfeiture.
basically claw it back from him. It's worth noting that these charges are being brought in the Southern District of New York, which is notoriously corrupt, and it is the same district that brought the charges against Epstein, although they did put Epstein in jail, so I guess that's something going for them. So anyways, the pessimistic take here is that they're not charging him with any of the darkest and most important shit. They're letting all the other people off the hook. Lucian Grange is not named. There's no upwards charges. They're not going for the big conspiracy. No mention of sexual.
I wonder if
Whatever.
they put him in the same cell
No,
as.
How are they going to prove that? How are they going to prove that? Everything he said with, oh, they're not charging him with the big stuff. No. How are they ever going to prove that? And then how would they prove that against you if they decided to say that against you? How are they ever going to prove
They've
that?
got videotape, man.
Yeah.
They recorded.
Diddy videotaped everything, just like Epstein did.
Yeah, and
He
NASA
videotaped
has pictures of the Earth.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I got to jump off here. I've got to go take care of a few things. It's been nice chatting with y'all.
Right on, Roster. See you next time, bud.
All right, have a good night.
All right, later,
Yep.
brother. I'm gonna hop off this.
Like, yeah, it's a lot of and eyewitness testimony. There's a lot that's gone into these indictments. That's why it went through a grand jury. So I don't know. Maybe they got some.
And Alex Jones got charged with how many billion?
Yeah. Well, this isn't a civil suit. This is criminal. So these are actually, I mean, these documents are there. Now, is he just playing a fall guy game? Probably. Who knows? But it is interesting because we've even got, testimony of Justin Bieber and other underage people that have testified before this grand jury. So I don't know, man, why they wouldn't, unless it leads to bigger people. Did he film some of the wrong people? Who knows?
The hidden cameras, any of that. That's kind of whack. The optimistic take, which is totally plausible. Liz Crokin has shared this take, and she's been on this longer than anyone, just about. Very possible is that they're using this strategically in order to go after Diddy hard enough to make him squeal on the bigger fish involved, so they can start making more arrests and start going after the larger organization, because they are charging with racketeering, and they do clearly lay out a criminal organization which he was a ringleader in. But that's where things stand right now. Personally, I am not optimistic that we're going to get what this case really deserves, and I am not optimistic that the big fish are actually going to get fried. I'd bet they're going to arrest a bunch of other people that you've never heard of, maybe a couple rappers, maybe a producer or two that were involved in this scheme and did horrible things and deserve to go to prison for the rest of their lives. But that they are not going to go up to people like Lucian, that they're not going to go towards the video blackmail angle, and that we're never going to see those tapes or hear about that blackmail ring. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it cracks wide open. But I don't think Jay-Z's worried too much right now. But he should be, because we're coming for him. We're coming for all of them. All lies will be exposed. They've released...
Well, maybe. I don't think so. If they're already starting out by concealing shit, then they're not going to expose all lies. Like I was saying with this, I want to see, is this the thing? Oh, yeah, where we were talking about Ross was talking about the phones, and I showed that little thing of him blowing up. This is a guy says, exploding pagers activated to kill. Could your smartphone be a military-controlled weapon that could end your life at any moment? Maybe. Let's see.
Say it isn't
Frankie Stocks
so.
is with us now. I don't know what you know about this, Frankie. I've just pinned a comment from Rumble. Thoughts on the exploding pagers across Lebanon? This is something that was news to me today. Do you know anything about this?
Man, I saw that right before we came on air, Stu. This is one of the crazier things that I've seen. You know, I've seen the headlines. I've seen probably what everyone else has seen. But from what I've read, you know, the videos that I've seen, these kind of old school pagers that Hezbollah carries around, they were, and we got to remember in Lebanon, these guys are like just walking around. They're going to the grocery store. These aren't terrorists out living in the desert somewhere training. These are guys who are basically in the military, in a militia, in their own country. So they're walking around in the grocery store and their pagers start exploding. And so what the reports are is that the Israelis hacked into these and that they caused them to explode. I don't know how all of that works, but it's actually pretty damn frightening when you think so. At any point in time, could our government, could the Mossad, could really anyone that wants to hurt us hack in to our cell phone and just blow it up, just explode it right off of our hip, right into our pocket? Because that's what it looks like they're capable of doing.
Yeah, I don't know who wears pagers anymore.
That's what I said.
I'm not.
That's what I said, man. I was like, who the hell's still using pagers? Right?
That was kind of strange myself.
Yeah. Do you still have your MySpace password? Boomers will be blowing up all over the place.
I mean, that was one of the first things I said was, you know, who the hell is still using pagers? Do they even still make them? I mean, I haven't seen one of those since like in the 90s, you know, maybe early 2000s. I don't know.
So it's all just BS.
Probably. They like to make you think they've got capabilities to do shit that they can't. That would be a perfect way to deliver that to you. But then again, maybe they can. I'm not going to sit there. Yeah, Sean says live in fear. I'm not going to live in fear over the dumb shit, you know? That's what I'm all the time doing. Are they fucking with me again? Is that what they're doing to me? They're screwing with me again, aren't they?
Right. You have to live in fear over somebody next to you more than you have to fear with somebody like in the government coming to help you.
Yeah, I don't fear anybody. I don't fear. I really, I don't fear anybody. Or anything, you know, if something's going to happen, I deal with it as it comes. Just be prepared. You know, you never know. Your life can change in an instant. You know, I mean, drastically change in just an instant. So you just got to be able to adapt, overcome, and improvise, you know. So what's he say? Hey, Cryptrick, what's happening? Oh, I had a great show on Cryptrick last night. Had a good time on there. He was in a meeting for the last 2 hours. Oh my God. Yeah, we're just talking over some of this craziness that's been going on, Rick. Great show on the Rebel News Network. You got to check him out. He's got some good stuff. Rebel, what is it? Rebel Radio, I think. I don't have the link right here. If Barbara could put Cryptrick, put your Put your creds down there. Put your creds down there. Now, this had been out for quite some time. You guys, if you remember, Diddy's bodyguard recorded his parties and stuff. So this is him talking about it, and this is kind of crazy. So if you got kids around, just have them go get you a beer or whatever, or they should be in bed, really. But depending on where you're at, anyway.
Yo, honey, go get me a beer.
All the champagne was spiked, son. Like, all the champagne was spiked. Everybody was passed the fuck out. I don't drink. So I was playing that shit off like I don't fucking drink. I smoke, nigga. Like, I smoke and I had my own weed, but like everybody was passed out. Yo, Diddy had that man in the room. Look, yes, I put my ear to the fucking door and I brought the phone because Diddy started going in overdrive. I ain't know what the fuck was going on, but I just heard balls slapping against ass cheeks. I heard niggas struggling to take dick. I heard niggas being like, yeah, daddy. Like, when he started all that daddy this and daddy that, and then I heard some hollering and struggling. Like, yeah, I kept the phone there and I recorded all that shit because I was like, this nigga Diddy rich. So I'm finna put the squeeze on and give me a couple dollars and just say, you know what I'm saying? There's nobody believed that was really Diddy beating Meek back in. But now y'all motherfuckers believe the video, right? Right? Somebody throw me a couple dollars.
So throw me a couple dollars. He wasn't concerned that this shit was wrong. He was looking at it from an angle of how he could profit from it. That's terrible.
Well, it depends on whether Obama was correct or not when he was basically calling him Puff Daddy.
Yeah. Listen, this is did you hear the entire indictment that was when they came on the news with it? The U.S. attorney. This was from 11 hours ago. They put this out, and this pretty much tells their official narrative. Now, I mean, if this could lead, you see, I think what's going to happen is they might either pretend to kill this guy and, like they did Epstein, and maybe he'll go off to the same place as old Jeffrey did. But kind of weird, not going to give him any bail. Of course, the last time when they raided his house or whatever, didn't he fly off to some place that didn't have extradition or something until the coast was clear and he came back? So that would make him a flight risk. I don't know.
Today, I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB. which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs, and that Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair. On one occasion in March of 2016, that conduct was captured on video and later reported in the media. Specifically, Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a victim in a Los Angeles hotel when the victim was attempting to flee. As alleged, these assaults often resulted in injuries to the victims, which took days or weeks to heal. In addition to the violence, the indictment alleges that Combs threatened and coerced victims to get them to participate in the freak-offs. He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims. And the indictment alleges that he maintained control over the victims in several ways, including by giving them drugs, by giving and threatening to take away financial support or housing, by promising them career opportunities, by monitoring their whereabouts, and even by dictating their physical appearance. Because of all of this, the indictment alleges that the victims did not believe they could refuse Combs without risking their security or facing more abuse.
In other words, once he had him on the hook somehow, he just put the hook deeper into it.
Yeah. Yeah, but what makes everybody think that this doesn't sound like the National Weather Service?
What?
Yeah, the one that goes, there are storms coming to something county, and be prepared for it. This dude sounds like the National Weather Service.
Okay. Well, I mean, these are filed charges that are in a U.S. court.
Yeah, but who did he threaten to catch on fire when they're talking about arson? I mean, I'm not protecting the dude.
Oh, hang
but
on
it's just
one sec. I'm going to get all that information for you. One sec. And get all that information for you. Give me one hot second here. Let's see. That thing was at 3 minutes 10. All right. Let me see. Where was the guy we watched? Hold on. Is this the one? Yeah. All right. I want to go into the comment section right there. And let me get that real quick. All right. I'm going to put it in the regular chat and in the private chat. There we go. That's got pretty much all the information. Other things I've heard too about who he's some of these people that have come out. I've watched some of these podcasts and listened to a few of these podcasts where they have these people that were bodyguards or driver and shit like that. And some of the stuff that they're coming up with, man, you're like, holy crap, man. You know? So that's, oops, what did I get rid of? Something. I don't remember what it was. There. Okay. So we got that. Let me go back to where I was at now. I gotta go back up. Here we go. We were at 3:18.
I mean, like, no offense, Saab, but that dude sounded like he was the National Weather Service. Not that I'm defending P. Diddy or whatever, but that dude sounded like the National Weather Service.
And I don't understand. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble following the reference. How? Because it just
listen to it.
Well,
listen to the National Weather Service. Just listen to it then.
Right. You mean without emotion delivering information?
Yeah. Just in all that aspect.
He's not supposed to show emotion. He's not supposed to. He's not there to win you over or anything else. He's not a newscaster. That's a United States attorney. He's representing the United States in the case against Combs.
So that's
So he's-
representing you against Combs.
Well, it's representing anybody that identifies as the United States or a 14th Amendment citizen. Yeah. So it's like he's just giving the information as to what the indictments are, what he's being accused of and charged with. He's not supposed to sway your opinion on it. He's not supposed to interject his own thoughts on it. He has to go completely by what is the law. Or in this case,
Or so what he's supposed to be reading, what he's reading right there from that stand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so I just know that I'm not jacked up by saying he sounds like the National Weather Service.
Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, if you, again, there too, the National Weather Service doesn't interject its emotions, thoughts, or feelings into the information that they're putting forth. So I can see that. Yeah. Yeah, you're on with that. Sure.
To his abuse, kidnapping, and
yes, Sir Skippy, he is in jail. They denied bail. So
arson. The indictment alleges that on more than one occasion, Combs carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten victims and witnesses. Now, Combs did not do this all on his own. As I mentioned, Combs has been charged with RICO conspiracy. He used his business and employees of that business and other close associates to get his way. Those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and household staff. The indictment alleges that those individuals facilitated the freak-offs. They booked the hotel rooms and stocked them with the supplies, including drugs, baby oil, personal lubricant, extra linens, and lighting. When the hotel rooms got damaged, they helped clean it up. They arranged for victims and commercial sex workers to travel for the freak-offs, and they delivered large quantities of cash to Combs to pay for the commercial sex workers. The indictment also alleges that they helped Combs cover up his crimes. During the March 2016 incident at the LA hotel that I mentioned earlier, a member of the hotel security staff intervened, and Combs attempted to bribe the staff member with a stack of cash to make sure that what happened was kept quiet.
That's like hearsay, right?
Well, if they've got the actual witness, you know, that's testified to it, it's testimony. You know, it'd be different if a hearsay would be another person saying, well, and I heard that he tried to bribe one of the employees. Now that's hearsay. But if the employee himself comes on and swears under oath that this man offered him a stack of cash to be quiet about the events, then that's a little bit different. That's testimony. So.
And as the indictment alleges, in late 2023, after public allegations were made about Combs's crimes, he and others pressured witnesses and victims to stay silent, including by making phone calls to witnesses and victims and giving them a false narrative of what they had experienced. And as alleged, Combs used others to help conceal his abuse by monitoring and preventing victims from leaving a location in order to hide their injuries, or by locating and contacting a victim who had attempted to flee. As part of this investigation, in March of this year, special agents from HSI executed search warrants at Combs's residences in Miami and Los Angeles. They also executed a warrant for Combs's electronic devices. During those searches, agents seized evidence of the crimes charged in this indictment. They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and a large capacity drum magazine. They also seized evidence of the freak-offs, electronic devices that contain images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims. And they seized cases and cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs, more than 1,000 bottles altogether. Here are some of the items that we recovered during the searches.
And there's more, of course, that show the
Today I'm announcing the unsealing
guns, the broken or the gun parts that aren't registered, filed off serial numbers, that
Hey.
kind of thing.
I know I'd be upset if I was a stockholder in lubricant.
Well, yeah, the sales might go down. No, you know what? It's like a Hydra. One goes down and two more pop up. Come on, man. They knew. Cat Williams was talking about this stuff back earlier in the year, and he was laying it right down there. He was worried he might end up getting killed. You know, we know he was messing with Justin Bieber. You know, these people are sick. These people are sick. And that's what I'm saying. Nothing's off the table with these people. Somebody said in there, yes, you can lie under oath on the thing. Yeah, you can. And you also get cross-examined. And if cross-examined uncovers a lie, you can also be charged with perjury, you know. No, lube isn't illegal. That's exactly right. But it does bolster the rest of the case and the other allegations, hence the freak-off aspect of it. You know, they get these people all dosed out and just in a big, greasy, oily orgy party or whatever, man. Who knows what the hell's going on?
I know.
Nasty.
I think that dude in his explanation should have explained what freak off meant in that monotone thing.
That Diddy dude was popping off, you know, on another dude in that recording, man. I was like, that's nasty, man. What is this guy? You know, what's up with this fella? You know?
Implied consent.
Has he always been like that? Yeah, most likely. He just now has the means to do whatever the hell he wants, you know? Wow. Yeah. See, all these clowns they put up on the screen with you. You know, everybody that they want to put up on the screen. Here's one. Doom. What the, right? All these people. They're just a parade of freaks, perverts, and weirdos. Here we go. Here's a who's who of what's going on. Familiar faces. Oprah. We know what's been alleged of her. Harvey Weinstein. We know what's been alleged of him. Barack Obama, the orderer of thousands of dollars worth of hot dogs to the White House, right? I mean,
do people actually think that if something happens to P. Diddy, that will end it?
No. They'll, you know what? They might Epstein him to shut him up. And people will say, we want to see the tapes. We want to know what happened. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, and look here. Oh, I bet that's photoshopped. It is. It is. He's too in focus. You got to watch these people. You got to really watch these people, man. Yeah, I mean, here's where I sit at. This is where I sit at, where this guy says, man, right here. This is great.
Oh, hey, again, how's your scrolling been going today? So one of the things I like to do after a few months, even a few years, is finally show everybody that the conspiracies that we were talking about were real. So, for example, COVID-19 vaccine incentives to doctors. Remember when we were saying that they were getting incentives? Well, as it turns out, your doctor was getting bribed to pressure you. COVID-19 vaccine provider incentive program. What's the eligibility? Well, how can I qualify? Well, if you get 30% of your members vaccinated, you get a $20 bonus per vaccinated member. But if you get 75% of your members vaccinated, $125 bonus per vaccinated member. Well, what's in it? It doesn't matter what it is, but you'll get your money, doctors. Oh my gosh. And then when you go over to the PubMed Central, all the characterization of the U.S. state COVID-19 vaccine incentive programs. What were some of those incentives? So besides all those donuts and hamburgers and French fries, I mean, look here, there were a lot of guaranteed cash payments. Not just cash payments, but scholarships to school. But hopefully a lot of these students could get to school before they died suddenly. Why don't we just head back to that first website? Blue Cross Blue Shield in Michigan provided a $400 bonus to doctors to fully immunize children by the age of 2.
Wow.
Say it isn't so.
Well, see, that's the thing. Truth always ends up coming to light. And that's what he's saying right there. You know? And oh yeah, I wanted to finish saying when I was talking to that dude on the comment section asking if Duffy, you know, and I told that dude, I said, why don't you just come on my show tonight, man? Crickets. I wonder, has he answered me yet? Has he said anything? I don't think he has. He won't show up. Wait, maybe. No, nothing. Oh well.
Who are you talking about?
Oh, what's his name? Let me see. He was under Andrew Johnson, 6631.
But hey, Saul, you really know that Lucky Hackins was bullying Duffy, right? Claiming,
no, man.
No, but really, he was like, hey, man, I'm like going against the norm, so you need to come do what I say, or, you know, I'm liable to go with the norm, but the norm is like saying you're this way, but I'm like really like giving you the like benefit of the doubt. You need to like come and do what I'm claiming. That's like really bullying. I mean, in a sense.
That's what Duffy is doing. That's exactly what Duffy is doing. Do you not understand the irony?
Right, but so you agree that Lucky's really bullying Duffy in his own way.
Yeah, he's being ironic unpurposely. But in a sense, also a real offer. Because it's like, what if you're not a shill, if you're not a con man, like all these people are saying, and that's the exact same way Duffy's doing it, then
then Lucky's just another Duffy. Lucky is a Duffy. Lucky equals Duffy.
Well, you know what? I want you to retract that, or I'm going to throw you off of here for good. I'm serious.
What is it you want me to retract, Saul? I mean, we're cool, right?
What you just said about Lucky Haskins?
That he's bullying Duffy?
Yes. That you're speaking quite disparagingly against him.
Why would you throw off anybody that's speaking what they believe is truthful against whoever?
You sound like you're drunk. Have you been drinking? You've come on here, you've been belligerent on every point that you've put out.
What's belligerent?
Belligerent? You don't know what belligerent means.
No, because if you like say, I'm going to hit a bong every time somebody says this word, then you claiming that, okay, you sound drunk would mean that you're being automatically equals belligerent.
No, you don't know. Well, how would you know if you don't know what belligerent means?
Ask Jeeves.
You're on a computer right now, aren't you? Hang on, give me a second. I got to go to the United States here. All right. So let me go back here. Why am I doing that?
I don't apologize, but think that Lucky's one of your buds.
Belligerent. I'm going to bring this up for you here in just a second. Hostile and aggressive. The mood at the meeting was belligerent. Noun, a nation or person engaged in war or conflict is recognized by international law. So we're not meaning it in that context there. So that was the actual definition of the word belligerent. And it's been my experience that when people have been consuming alcohol, they become belligerent, argumentative.
What makes you think, okay,
negative.
so what, right.
You understand?
So in that aspect of that, when you come against somebody that you don't agree with, is that belligerent, or is it just because, let's say, THC would be different than alcohol, as to say that I'm just speaking what I believe, in my opinion, to be truth, that Lucky is bullying Will into complying to what he's expecting him to do.
Right.
That's it. Whether or not you claim that I've been drinking
not
alcohol.
Just the belligerence. Hold on, Moonbounce. It's not just the belligerence. The slurred speech is a dead giveaway.
I'm super tired. I mean, I come on here.
I've used that before. I'm super tired.
No, but I mean, really, honestly.
Super tired doesn't make you slur your speech like you've been drinking.
No, it doesn't. But other things also do.
Listen, don't try to bullshit me. I've been there.
Oh, I'm not bullshitting.
Yeah.
If I was to say to you, hey, look, I've taken 2 shots of Southern Comfort, would that make you feel better about claiming that I'm being belligerent, or that?
Well, what would really concern me if your belligerence was not born from alcohol, that if this was your mind speaking in a clear state, that if you were that belligerent and totally would miss,
Sovereign. I'll tell you what.
The ironic humor involved with it.
Okay, well, you're kind of frozen, but if I would say to you, okay, I'll come back tomorrow and I'll be free of all alcohol or whatever, THC or anything, and still speak the same.
Well, listen, as long as you weren't as belligerent and negative about it as you are. Apparently, you missed the irony. You missed the sarcastic irony involved with what Lucky has been doing. You completely missed it. It went right over your head.
No, I don't think I missed it. I think that you telling me now, I think that you explaining to me now that, hey, Moonbounce, you may have missed the irony. Then I would say to you, I may have missed the irony in what he's doing to Will.
How could you possibly miss the irony in that? I mean, you've been keeping up with what's going on. Have you not listened to what this con man Duffy says in the way he presents these things? Have you not looked at the method in which he delivers this information and the type of pattern and tone that he's using? You don't see it as a sales pitch. You don't see the tactics that are being used. And those are the tactics that Lucky is blatantly exhibiting. Right? But at the same time, giving a liable offer, an actual real offer, because it would be a great place to check for any curvature. Because I don't know if a lot of people don't know it. It's like the biggest inland lake.
Oh, I agree. I agree that he's given him an offer, but in that offer, he's saying, you know, hey, Will, you buy the camera and you come out here to my place and you do all of this, and instead of you paying these people, you give the money to St. Jude's. In that aspect, I think that is too much irony towards Will, as in bullying him, and then to say,
really?
Hey, you just come on out here.
Wait, hold on.
No, but you just come out here.
The only thing he has to pay is just getting there. Okay, and that's only from Colorado to the UP. Probably about an hour and a half airplane.
I listened to what Will said, or Lucky said. Lucky said, you buy the camera, and at the end of it, Instead of you paying for 2 people to go to Antarctica, you can give that money to St. Jude's. And
You
in
don't
that
think that's a good
aspect,
suggestion? You don't
no,
think that's a good
listen.
suggestion?
No, I say that's bullying Will into claiming that you come out here and you do good for children. It's to say, other
That's not.
than
Well,
you
no,
come.
no. Moon Bounce, come back when you're not drunk, please. Please. Thank you. Holy God. You're muted, Civil Coalition. Jesus Christ. Man, that alcohol gets some people by the nuts so bad. Oh, I'm just tired. Oh, shut up. That's what's making you lie right now and tell me you're tired. You're not tired. You're fucking drunk.
All right. No.
Try to pull that shit over on me. I was a professional fucking alcoholic for a great portion of my life. I know all of the tricks, man.
Yep. I used to down a pint at a time when I did it. You know?
I don't try to pull that bullshit on me. And I can tell right away with the belligerence. Listen, that's how these fights always start at these social functions where people are drinking too.
Right.
It was a 56 Ford. No, it was not. It was a 55 Ford, you dumb son of a bitch. No, it was not. And then the next thing you know, they're fighting over it and it's stupid shit. Somebody's got a bottle stuck out of their neck, you know. And this is what alcohol does. It causes people to be completely negative, completely.
Would you
and
say that?
I mean, I'm just like, is the irony of this thing that Lucky's doing lost on anybody else? I mean, really?
I get it. Yeah. I do think some of the influence, though, is because of news media, outside influence. Some of these guys. This gentleman right here that was just on. I've got a guy that comes up the road where I live on a 4-wheeler with a little female dog like a terrier. And when he stops, I'm going to tell you one thing. That Biden, and I'm talking about like total mind control, psychological operation sovereign to the max. And I kind of calm him down. And he's like, you don't believe nothing? I said, I don't even pay attention to it, Mr. Charlie.
Yep. No reason to.
That's it. I said, I can't change it. At the end of the day, what can I do about it? Except worry.
Nothing.
That's it.
Ain't no thing.
I'm just talking about like the real, the stuff that people are lost in. And that there's 2 different ways. There's the truth about what it is, and then there's the truth about being lost in it. I believe, knowing what it is, stepping back and being able to talk about it, and not letting it take from your heartstring is different than being lost in the sauce. Wouldn't you say?
Listen, people have been more emotionally moved over somebody doing a fake assassination thing on Trump than they show over the countless number of people and children being slaughtered in Gaza right now.
It's what is the irony in it all. And then look, check this out though, Sav. How good is CGI? Now, I don't know what's going over there. I personally have people in the UK. Bad Logan, he's a flat earther. I've got a friend of mine in Canada. I also got a Miss Valerie down. So in like the northern country. And I've even been on phone all through us. And look.
You're starting to robot out a little bit here.
Oh,
I'm gonna
Miss Valerie was in Australia, Sav, and we all got on the phone together. We all had our GPS on. We all screenshot at the same time and on a live. And 10 minutes after we loaded it, they took it down.
Sure.
We could see the moon. All of us could see the moon in our camera.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
And they took it down 10 minutes after I put it on YouTube on my channel, and she put it on hers. I put it on. It was on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, and it was all scrubbed within 10 minutes.
Yeah, shout out to the Canadians, man.
Anyway,
that's the way I pronounce it.
So how you doing this evening, my brother?
Oh, we're doing pretty good, man. I was just like all this crazy shit going on. I was watching all the people freaking out on both sides about the Trump almost being assassinated again, and I'm watching all this stupid crap that they're putting out there. Look at this obvious CIA connections with this guy, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh my God.
You know, they got to fit Iran in there with it to demonize them.
Yeah, yeah. Now they're talking about how they can use remote drones to blow him up and all kinds of other crap, you know. And
They
I'm
could
like,
have been done that, you know. Yeah.
yeah, they really want to, and people so emotionally invested in this character.
Oh my
And
God.
and even the other one, they get emotionally invested in her, and shit, 6 months ago they didn't even know who the hell she was.
That's right.
You know, now they're just like, oh, she's the greatest thing that ever happened. And I'm like, wow, man, where do they manufacture these freaking people from?
Well, Kirk from Turning Point found out that one of her sayings was from a Marxist quote.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that?
Joy and what was it? Joy and
Yeah.
hope or some shit.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it's so painfully obvious that when you have book sense and no common sense,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you lie your way to the top. You say the lie so much in behind closed doors, so you don't say it wrong that you just end up saying it. That's how I believe it happens. It comes out. The truth always comes out, though, Saab. Wouldn't you say?
No, always.
Always.
And you know, that's what I think. That's why I have to wonder what's this big
Yeah.
push that's going on right
That's
now
right.
this year.
Oh, I love it. Sit back
Crazy.
and just watch it all unfold. You know, it's true.
What was I looking for here? Something I had. No, I think that's all I had on there today.
So, your honest opinion, what about that movie about all the states were segregated and Civil War or something? Did you see the trailer for that?
Yeah.
That's some predictive programming.
Well, what are they? What do you reckon's in the cards? What do you reckon's in the cards? I'm going to shut her down here in just a minute, but I'm wondering, what do you think's in the cards? What's the end game plan?
I think they're holding on to what they got at just enough. It doesn't matter if they use technology to slow us down in certain areas. I think that they're just barely the Great Reset crumbled in Klaus Schwab's fingertips. Though, so think about it. You know?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to go. I don't think their little reset's going to go like they planned.
They can't change the dollar either because they will lose. I'm thinking that now. Or the BRICS would have been all over us. Think about it, Saad. If they change the system, they're going to lose out so much that they're not going to be able to stand back from it. I got a feeling. And I think it was a Klaus Schwab wanted to just make a mark before he left the earth, something probably, in history or something, because he wrote the book on stakeholder capitalism in 1970. You get what I'm saying?
Well, he's just there again, another one of these tools. He's talking head, the puppet for.
I get it. Yeah, he was just about crying though at the last one though, dude. It was classic, dude. He was like giving this sob story about things didn't just work out this way, and it was weird, dude. If you haven't seen it, if you can find it. It was at the World Economic Forum, I think last year's. Yeah, where he spoke. I think the closing. It almost had to run up and give him a paper towel so he could wipe his cheek.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
cool.
I don't.
He was trying to hide it, but he had to say what didn't go through with the SDG goals, sustainable development, Anyway.
Well, the reality of it is this: is that we got to people have got to learn to just fucking disregard. Stop giving them attention.
Only on paper,
right?
And if you agree with the paper and go sign on the paper, you become part of the system.
But I mean, that's the whole thing. Is just quit participating with their crap. Quit worrying about them. Stop letting them rule you. Quit letting them rent so much fucking space in your head.
You know what? You don't think it's so effective though, Sav? It's this hyper logical reason now that's like coming to the forefront. If you stop about it, people think that getting in the line, go in a box and push the government's buttons, right?
Yeah.
Think about that one. Now, they're actually being put in a line, tucked away by themselves. Government's push. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just this ironic. The law of reversal, dude.
Yeah.
weird stuff.
All right, well, I'm gonna cut her down here. It's starting to get a shitty ass stream. The internet's acting up here, and it's probably gonna dump me here in just a minute anyway. So thanks for coming on tonight, Civil Coalition. We'll see you next time. Everybody out there, thanks for showing up tonight. We'll see you next time on Sovereign Soul. Don't forget, tomorrow night on Jeranism channel will be Reefer Roulette, where we spin the wheel of conspiracy and we speak on different topics where there's prizes. If you catch the buzzword, you can win a prize, kind of like Pee Wee Herman there in his Playhouse where they had the word, and you win stuff. We also, what was I going to say? There's usually a guest host with us, and I was going to say something else about it, man. It's Austin Thompson of Melodome is there. Mike LaBrash from the Truthers Hour of Comedy. And of course, Jaron and myself, we're there. We'll be discussing various topics as they come up on there. And if you throw in a $20 super chat, you can change the topic to whatever you want as well. So there's all kinds of little bells and whistles. Show on up, have a good time, pack a bowl, whatever it is, your favorite adult beverage, and kick back and have a good time. Get off of the concern a little bit for a little while. And outside of that, my good friend and co-host Something Wong would like to wish you all a good evening. We'll see you next time right here on Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind. Don't forget, the Lord loves a working man. Don't trust Whitey. See your doctor and get rid of him. He'll probably kill you. We'll see you next time. Good night.